All right, welcome back, Inebri-ites. This is Andy, the Inebri-art podcast. We are back again at the Craft Beer Cellar on Main Street. And if you're in Plymouth and you're looking for beer or boutique wines, you can come to the Craft Beer Cellar and pick up basically anything you need. And we are here today with Adam Matthew Davis. Did I get that right? That's nice. And Carson. And Charlie the dog.
Charlie the dog.
Yeah.
Nap time.
So, I mean, obviously you're a musician because you have a guitar with you. So, when did you I invited you on. You brought in Carson. So, have you guys been playing a long time? Is this a new thing or?
We both have some crazy lives, but we get together as we can, and we like creating. We're both creators, whether it's our own stuff or together.
Yeah.
We get together as often as we can, and it's like we know what the other one's thinking. We just like I can like make something up, and he's like 2 seconds later, he's like already on the same page with me.
Right.
So
So you kind of have that shorthand where you can kind of be like, oh, it's kind of like that other song, and he knows what you're talking about even without being like, yeah.
But it's not even like that song. It just always comes up with something new.
Yeah.
And
It's a musical bromance.
A bromance?
A musical bromance. Yeah.
How long have you guys been playing together?
Probably a I don't know what like a year and a half now,
Probably
almost
like
2 years.
A year and a half because it actually we both live in the same town.
Yeah.
And that probably helped because it made it easy to go and hang out. Like we started hanging out again. It's been years. Like we've known each other since we were teenagers in high school.
Yeah. We were friends in high school. And Adam.
We even went to Jamaica together. It was
yeah.
In high school?
Yeah, it was a missionary trip.
Oh, boy.
The church trip.
Yeah, it was cool.
So we met in high school, and then as like life happens, like Adam went into the service. You were in what, Dakota?
I was in the Air Force. I went to North Dakota.
You were in North Dakota for
Why
a
not?
while.
Why not?
You went and lived in Vegas for a while. I was in Oregon for a little bit, came back, and so like I don't know, like life's get crazy. People
You were in Indiana
away.
at some point, and actually it was like I hadn't seen him for like 4 or 5 years, and I just randomly passing through and stopped by. He was going to college.
Yeah, well, you were driving. You were driving.
I got out of the Air Force
from
and I was
Dakota
heading
back
home.
to-
Yeah.
Oh, so you like stopped in?
When I drove home from North Dakota back to Massachusetts when I got out of the service. So I stopped in, said hello.
So were you guys both musical in high school, or was it something you picked up later?
We were both. I did musical stuff. We didn't really do anything together back in high school, but he was doing some drum stuff and some keyboard stuff, and I was doing some guitar. We were young, learning how to play instruments,
kind of figuring it out.
Yeah,
but I was taking lessons when I met him. Because I've come different. It's been a long ways since then. But how about you?
I got a. My parents forced me to take piano lessons when I was a little kid.
Yeah,
and I hated it. They forced me for like a decade.
They're gonna hear this,
I don't know. I don't know if they'll listen.
They probably figured it out. If you hated it for a decade, they probably figured it out.
They whipped my fingers when I hit the wrong key.
They definitely knew. I remember one time I was my mom drove me to piano lessons because I was whatever, I was like 12 or something, and I refused to go in because my mom because they were like forcing me. I'm like no, I'm not going in. I don't want to do it. and my dad was a cop, and he was working, and my mom's like, well, I'm going to call your dad, and I'm like, and I don't know if I was whatever, I thought I was tough or something, and I was like, fine. And so she calls my dad. My dad pulls up in his cruiser, and he's like, Carson, he was like, if you don't go into that piano lesson, he'd be like, oh, I don't know what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to do something. And then he said something like, he's like, I'd break my right pinky finger to be able to play the piano like that. He's like, now go in there and go to your piano lessons. It's like, fine.
Okay, Dad.
So he's
thanks for the speech. I'll go in. Thank you.
Okay, Dad. And then
stop talking. I'll go in.
Yeah, exactly. All right, fine. I'll go in. And but anyway, so they forced me to play the piano. And
now, looking back, are you glad they did?
Yeah, I'm glad they did, but you know how it is when you're
a kid, you don't want to be told
when you're
what
a
to do,
kid and you're forced to do something.
Like vegetables, you're like, I don't want asparagus.
Yeah, like it doesn't
and
matter.
you go to every restaurant, you're like, ooh, Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
Please pass the Brussels sprouts.
yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're forced to do it, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So, but I think it gave me kind of like I don't know, like kind of like a musical brain a little bit, you know, and then
to let that side of your brain open up when you're young,
exercise a little bit.
Expose it and just
I think
have
especially
that
like
creativity when you're
nowadays,
young.
like so much of that's being like taken out of schools that
It is. I
you
hope
know.
kids
Dude.
start just doing. They got to do it on their own. They got to think outside the box on their own.
Yeah.
And, music is where.
Yeah, music and arts and creative
arts,
things. It just teaches you to think differently than you know.
And it definitely encourages, like even in those other subjects like English and math and all that, like it encourages, it stimulates your brain
Right.
to a point where you're gonna be better at those things too, like balance.
Yeah.
You need both of them. You can't just have one side, or else the other side's gonna I don't know.
It
Wither up.
hibernates. For me, that side of my brain hibernated for a good 10 plus years, and it doesn't make you happy. If you're not being creative and enjoying things in life that you can open up your mind to, it's easy to get down in in some ways where you're just doing the same thing every day. You gotta be creative, do something different, open.
And it's a release. It
door.
like kind of helps you relax and kind of work your troubles out. And,
For sure.
yeah. At what point did you switch over to percussion?
When I was a senior in high school, I like partially bought a drum set. My room was in the basement, and I partially bought a drum set. Like my mom, like
His dad was probably like, I should have let him quit piano.
yeah. They split it with me, and then afterwards they were probably kicking themselves because I'd be down in the basement, and if I didn't have anything to do, I'd like play the drums for 8 hours and like come upstairs for a sandwich, and go back down and like keep playing. So I think I was driving everyone crazy with the drums
It wasn't
after
in the
that.
garage. It was in the basement.
It was in the basement.
Everyone had to hear it.
Yeah, so they could still hear it. But yeah, so it's always, and now I play around. I like to mess around with a little like music production kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like music kind of simpler like music composition.
This guy's very creative.
It's simpler music composition stuff, but
our co-writing, we do some co-writing, and his projects are really awesome. Unfortunately, we lost some of them.
Yeah.
But,
Computer issue?
Well, yeah, computer issue. Yeah, I was working on some stuff in a coffee shop, and my computer issue was that I put the computer case. I was going to leave, and I put the computer case on top of my car, and forgot to. I put like the drink down inside the car, and forgot to take the computer and put it in my car with like the rest of my belongings that I care about, and I drove off, and the thing was, and I didn't realize it till about like 20 minutes later. So I'm like, this is crazy. So I go, so I drive back to where I was, and like my computer looked like it had been run over like 10 times. It's like in the middle of the road.
Man.
Yeah, that was a rough night. So lost a lot of stuff, but it's like Adam said, I probably lost, I don't know, like 15 songs or something, but
but they're all in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all about all about the creative.
Yeah, and if you create
process.
stuff, you're bound to have those incidences. Like I was in art school, and I had to do a plaster sculpture, and I was actually really kind of happy with it. And I was running up the stairs to the dorm, and they were like concrete stairs, and there's like a little bit of a lip on the stairs caught my toe. So it was in a plastic bag, and it came up and it hit me in the face, and then it hit the concrete stair and split in half. And I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" I was more mad that I broke it than anything else.
Of course, it's got to hit you in the face,
Right? Yeah. Because it's like I'm not,
just add insult to injury.
Yeah. the good thing was it had already been graded, so I didn't have to like start from scratch. But brought it in the next day, and I'm like, "This is my sculpture. Is there any way to repair it?" That you just like, "Oh shit, no."
It's done.
That's a gunner.
Yeah.
You took a picture.
I want to do a sculpture thing. Do you guys do sculptures like Inebri-art, like sculpture day? I know. I just saw. I was at your glass day.
The beer mug painting. Yeah,
beer mug painting the other day. That was cool.
Yeah, you did a Batman one.
I did Batman, and I made it like a Batman Bruins combo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we were watching the Bruins game.
Yeah, the Bruins were on, and
kicking the shit out of North Carolina.
North
Carolina.
Yeah.
Just Carolina.
Hurricanes, yeah. One of the Carolinas.
Bruins for sure.
We've never done a sculpture thing. Doesn't mean we won't. We just got to kind of figure out the logistics. And
I wonder what I would sculpt.
I don't know.
If it was like open, like 'cause it's not like there's a Batman.
Right. Yeah, sculpture stuff like that is got to be.
It's like sculpt something like a tree or something.
So you went to art, where did you go to art school?
Montserrat College of Art. It's in Beverly.
In Beverly, okay, okay, yeah, north of Boston. How long did you do that for?
Not long enough.
No,
I
short stint.
What? He's interviewing me. It happens. People ask questions.
Am I not supposed to do that?
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
I was like, wait, what happened with the tides of turn?
Yeah, no, I went there for 1 year. I got into a fist fight with my roommate.
Ouch.
And the school did dick about it. So I was kind of like, fuck this place. And then...
Isn't it weird looking back at fist fights when you're like, all right, we're in our 30s, you know? It's like
yeah, we're in our 30s. Shut up, fish.
Yeah. We're 30s, whatever. You know, we're still young, but we're like, we look back and we're like, our 20s, like, why do we like throw our on his face?
Mine was more of he punched me in the back of the head, so I just retaliated.
That was cheap.
Yeah, it was.
That was cheap.
I mean, it was, it's such a weird thing. Like freshman year, they put you in a dorm with 3 strangers that you now have to live with and get along with, and it's fucking near impossible.
Yeah, at least I went in the Air Force and they threw me in a shower with like a dozen other naked guys.
But at least they don't like put up with any bullshit, Like it's not like
that's the difference in the military.
I'd rather have a
no
bed
one's wearing
with,
clothes.
We could change in our own corners.
But I feel like if you went to
look at me,
your drill sergeant when like he doesn't do the dishes, you'd both be running laps, and then you'd be like, "Fuck it, that's never going to happen again."
Yeah.
Where like this is more just like petty bullshit. Yeah.
So what happened that caused him to punch you in the back of the head?
So he was. This is fascinating.
I just want to hear the story.
So basically, he was a kid who had never been away from home.
Yeah,
and you could tell.
Yeah, my freshman roommate was the same way.
Like, didn't do his laundry until he went home. Like, almost to the point where he like didn't bathe because no one was telling him to. It was kind of gross. And he had this girlfriend. He was from New Hampshire, and he would take like the apartment phone and stretch it all the way down the hall into his bedroom to talk to his girlfriend. God knows what the fuck he was doing.
30-foot cord.
Yeah, it was probably like a 20-foot cord in a 30-foot hallway, and he fucked up the phone from doing it.
Just yanking it.
And
he's yanking too much.
Yeah, something like that. And so I'm like, I can't believe you broke the phone. Blah blah. This is fucking stupid. He's like, don't call me stupid. And I was already pissed off, so I'm like, well, if you don't do stupid things, then I don't have to call you stupid.
Perfect.
And he's like, don't call me stupid. I'm like, I just said this. If you don't do stupid things, I won't call you stupid. And I was sitting watching TV, and he walked
Sometimes
up.
it sucks being smarter than other people.
It's very frustrating.
Like, come on, guy. Will we get on the same page with me?
It's like, I get it. You want to have private time with your girlfriend, but I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
So you were watching TV.
I was watching TV, and he walked up behind me and punched me in the back of the head.
When you're watching TV, jeez.
But like I was
Neanderthal.
I was kind of like right at like knee height, so I just kind of reached behind him, like right behind his knees, and yanked his legs out from underneath him.
There you go.
I wonder if this guy's listening right now. He might listen to this podcast at one point in time.
I have no problem. His name was Jeff George.
He probably deserves
which was like a football player at the time.
Yeah, Jeff George. He's a quarterback.
Yeah. So
I don't know what team, Atlanta or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea what happened to that dude. Like that was like after that, like he ended up like they shuffled him around, but essentially like you have to sit in with like the head of housing, and they're like, well, why don't you take him to the grocery store? I'm like, because I'm not his fucking mother. Like, why do I have to take him to the grocery store?
Why aren't you taking him to the grocery store?
Yeah, because I was the one in the apartment that had a car.
Jeez.
And I'm like, because I'm not his mom.
That's not your fault
right,
that you have a car.
So after that, the school was kind of in transition. Good school now, lots of good people.
Yeah, school. You know, he did his schooling. I didn't really like. Went to school a little bit, but whatever.
You did the military.
Well, you went to the military.
I was in the military. I did some school for some work stuff.
Now, did you not do music while you were in the military?
I did a little bit. Like, I have songs. I don't know. I'm trying to write more. I have like maybe almost 30 songs, something like that I've written. But then
like
it
the
was
Wild Blue Yonder, like that one.
Yeah, kind of like that. It was just like spur of the moment when I was like 22 or something, or 23. I'd just like write a song. But
yeah, you had a good one about the plains of North Dakota.
The plains? What?
Yeah, the plains. That song about the plains in North Dakota.
Like the airplanes or the...
No, like the
planes.
long flat spaces.
I wrote a song
the
about
tundra.
that?
Yeah, it's called...
It was on this computer that I saw in the middle of the street.
I'm just messing with you.
It's
called the tundra.
Wild Blue Yonder?
Yeah.
Off we go.
So
what did you do in the Air Force?
Basically, I did computer stuff. I'd set up like this, like where we are now. We'd go to a location and we'd have to set up computers for officers flying planes and stuff. So we set up all their computers and hook them up, make sure everything's working.
You were IT.
Yeah, I was like an IT guy.
IT.
It was fun. I didn't get what I wanted to do when I went in. I thought I was going to do mechanical stuff. I wanted to work on like, maybe engines or eventually fly a plane or something. But I realized I signed up, but I didn't really lock myself into something. So let's figure it out as we go.
Yeah, and my nephew went into the Marine Corps and ended up repairing like parachutes and prep and flight gear. So his buddies would be like, "You joined the Marine Corps to learn to sew."
Yeah.
Well,
but it's like pretty important job if you need that.
Yeah, everyone's a part of the.
Right. It's all part of the picture.
But no matter what you do in the military, you are still, serving this country. And like, even now, like looking back, I am still a veteran. I still serve. Even though I wasn't out there, within the front lines with these guys.
Right.
Some of them gave their lives, but I wasn't out there. But I did what I did.
Of course, yeah. And that's the thing is like his buddies give him shit, but like if you're in an airplane going down, you really care about that dude that sewed your parachute to make sure it's not going to fuck up, and so it's a super important job.
But you're responsible for that parachute.
But
a lot of times though, people
if it's your buddy, you're definitely going to give him shit about it.
People have different expectations of like when they're going in, you know what I mean, and then get surprised.
You don't think about it. It's like there's got to be some dude that cleans the toilets.
You learn that like my nephew just went into the Navy recently in this last summer, and he learned quick. He's a good kid, but you learn, like, you think you know how life works as a kid nowadays. These kids know everything already. You try to talk to them, you hang out with your nephew or your whoever. Like my nephew's 19 now, but I hang out with him. He already knew everything. He's way ahead of me, and that's fine. But he decided
all kids
to
are
join
like that.
Yeah, they all
not just now, but in general.
When
you're a teenager,
you always think you know everything.
Yeah, when you're a teenager, you don't want anyone to tell you.
I guess it's better than thinking anything. You know nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's when you're that age, you still have like carryover from when you're little, where things are very black and white. Yeah. So you're old enough to be able to think for yourself, but you still kind of have that little bit of black and white. So you're
still
like, no, this is
to learn more.
Yeah, so you're like, no, this is how things are, and then you get older and you be like, oh, well, maybe it's not. It's more complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot more gray.
Yeah. And he's learning a lot now. He's in the Navy. He's been training he's been there for almost over a year now. So, and I got other family in the military still. I chose to not stay.
Yeah,
that was a choice I made. Although, if I stayed in, I'd be retiring next summer.
Really?
Because I went right after high school.
Yeah.
So this next summer would be 20 years, and I got buddies that
that
are going to retire. They're like, yeah, I'm moving back home next year. They've been traveling for the last 20 years. I've been traveling too, but different means. But
retiring in your late 30s, that's wild.
But the military was you see places you'll never see otherwise.
Yeah.
And you meet people that you wouldn't have met ever.
Right.
So it's nice to expand the horizons. So
you get discharged. Carson graduates?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I wasn't sure.
I did. I had a couple extra classes that I had to pick up afterwards.
He's still
Oh, I'm just finishing up. Yeah, finishing up my.
What'd you go for?
Oh man, this is a story in itself. So I grew up in a really religious family.
Yeah.
So I went for theology was my undergrad, and then you graduate with a theology degree. And you're like, ooh, this is interesting. What am I going to do with this? And
not a lot.
Not a lot. And then so I ended up working like kind of random jobs after that. And did random jobs for a while, and then got a job working in a collaborative high school, so like an alternative high school.
Yep.
For like Ronnie and Bobby, who like disappeared from your high schools when you were in like 11th grade. No one knew where they went.
Oh, those
and you're
kids.
Like, oh, that's where Ronnie and Bobby went.
Yeah.
They went to a place like this. So kind of like a place like that, and
so they challenged kids.
Yeah. Or like, quote unquote at risk kids, or just kids that like school systems aren't sure what to do with. So I was an aide at a collaborative high school. Then I worked in a couple psych hospitals, and I worked at a residential school.
Is that where he met you?
Yeah, that's where I met Adam.
I know you met before, but I had to make that.
That was the second connection.
Yeah, we got reacquainted a few times in our lives. And,
random time.
I think the last time, now that we've been reacquainted, but the last time was we both brought our dogs to the same daycare, like randomly.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We ran
it's always weird how like you run into people.
It was like dropping off your kid to daycare or school or whatever, but we had dogs, and we were dropping them off at school.
Yeah, I started a new job like
hey,
3 years ago, and there's a girl that works in the purchasing department. I work in marketing. She grew up 2 houses away from me. I haven't seen her in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so weird. So at what point did you guys decide to become musical married? Bro married?
So it was about...
When did the bromance start?
So Adam was renting a house, and it was like a really good practice space. I have a 2-year-old son and a drum set that I couldn't set up.
It's my grandmother's house. It's great. Somehow it's an old house where the room that we have is drums. He did bring his drums over.
Yeah.
And it sounds pretty good in there.
Yeah. So it's a good practice space. And Adam called me up, and he lived like a mile away. And it's like, oh, yeah, I live right over here. Come on over. And so I went over there, and he had like all this like recording software and stuff like that, and in a book full of a bunch of songs. And he just started playing a couple of songs, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, but he wanted to record them, and he wanted to get like some percussion behind him and stuff. So we didn't
have the drum set at the house at this point.
No, not at the beginning.
It was like it was a good month.
Yeah. So we were being creative, and I played was just because the way recording like equipment is like you could get a good bass drum sound out of different things. So
right. Yeah.
I was getting a bass drum sound out of like your guitar case, and the snare drum was like we
found random things within my house. My grandfather had a little Skippy peanut butter jar full of nuts and bolts.
Yeah,
and we were like, "This looks like a shaker." And
or it was a good. Yeah,
Carson used it as a shaker in actually one of the songs on the album on the Footsteps Coming album that we put together.
Yeah, it's still on there.
Yeah,
is that on like your resume? You play the drums, piano, and Skippy peanut butter jar.
Yeah, he plays with the Skippy.
No. The first instrument is the peanut butter jar.
All right.
Everything else, you don't even have to mention it. It's all about the peanut butter jar. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that you have a CD.
Yes, we have a CD that I put together. I have written a lot of songs over the years, and I was unfortunate. Like, I have a neck problem that's still, like, I manage every day. It's like something I have to deal with every day. But if I hadn't had this injury that bounced me into this spot where I had to recover and think about my life, I wouldn't have been, open to, it just happened to be the right time. I met Carson. I was like, hey, I got these songs. I got some time.
Yeah.
While I'm doing this, trying to get better, let's try to make some songs. Like, let's make them count, not just be something I did,
right?
Forgotten. So we got together, made it happen, and yeah, it took an injury, but it's weird. It's like I don't like it. Sucks. I'm almost better. I'm getting there, and I'm getting as good as I can get. But at least if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have been back in music. I would have been just work.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of there's a movie called Murder Ball?
It sounds very familiar.
So it is a documentary about the U.S. paraplegic rugby team. It's a fucking great movie. And the captain of the team is this guy, Mark Zupan. And so he's paralyzed in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because of something that was completely not his fault. He passed out in the bed of his buddy's truck at a party. His buddy got in, drunk, decided to drive, spun out, flipped him out of the bed of the truck over an embankment into a gully, and drove away. Didn't even know he was back there.
Wow.
So, now he can't move. Well, I mean, he can move. He's paralyzed. So he was on Larry King, and Larry King's like, if they had a cure for you tomorrow that you could get up and walk away and leave this sport, but you'd have a normal life, would you? And he's like, no. And Larry was like stunned. He's like, why? And he's like, because of my injury. He's like, I've traveled the world. I'm an Olympic level athlete. He's like, I've done more in a chair than I ever did able body. And it was kind of like you have a shitty circumstance, but like good things can come from it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same, you have an injury, but you end up having a
think
CD.
That's what you
grow.
Yeah.
That's the stuff. Like you're saying, how when you're a teenager, you think you know everything, but that's the kind of stuff that happens later on in life when you're in like your 20s and 30s, and as the years go on and stuff, like more and more things happen, and it humbles you.
Yeah,
it humbles you a little bit, and you look at things from a different perspective because all these other things that happen like later on in life, and so you see that
you realize everybody's fucked up.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, everybody. Period. And if someone's trying to pretend like they're not, then
they're usually the worst ones.
They're pretending.
Let's hang out for a night.
They're usually the worst ones, and they're pretending. They're pretending, which makes them, all right, I don't want to hang out with you. I'll go hang out with these people instead.
I'll hang up with those fucked up guys over there because at least I know how they're fucked up.
At least it's not going to surprise me. One time when I least expect it, and really cause problems.
So we were able, like, both being in the same town, when we ran into each other, he actually, when I ran into him at the same dog take care, that was before we both lived in Pembroke.
Carson, you didn't bring your dog? What's up with that?
My dog is way more high-strung than Charlie.
Charlie's pretty mellow.
Yeah, Charlie's pretty cool. She's just hanging out. She's just actually looking to go upstairs, but there's no food up there. So. But we got back together. We decided to try to do some music stuff because we were in the same town.
Yeah.
At this point, and we were like, well, hey, you got some drums in storage. I was like, bring your drums over after we messed around with the Skippy peanut butter jar and stuff. We were like, bring your drums over.
Yeah.
And that first day when we were dropping the dogs off, I remember I prompted my dog Jasper to urinate on your foot. You remember that?
Did he?
No, he didn't.
I think he missed.
Fail.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Missed.
That was a lie.
He missed. I think
everything I just
could have been
said was
true.
a lie.
I would have believed you.
You don't have a dog?
JJ.
Yeah. So you're gonna play some songs for us. What songs are you gonna play?
Well,
and what are they about?
Play some songs. I got some songs from my album, and also some new stuff that I've been writing and working on.
So what's that? What's that first one?
Well, we're gonna start. There's a song that I wrote that when I wrote it, it was tough. I moved. All right, so I came back from the Air Force. I moved home.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to, get a job, whatever, job searching like everyone does.
Yeah.
It was like 2005. It was a bad year. There's like 100,000 other people trying to get a job.
Yep.
And I decided that I was gonna go somewhere. I had Charlie scratching away. Charlie, hey. So I decided I was going to go somewhere and explore. I thought I was going to bartend. I had went to Boston bartending school before I I decided in 2005 Vegas is where it's at. I got a buddy out in Vegas. He was still in the military. I just got out. And I was like, hey, I'm going to come crash with you, see if I can get a job out there, get my own place, see what happens. And so I did it. The
song.
Probably
name of the song.
Yeah, probably wasn't.
Let's figure this out, right?
Yeah. So it probably wasn't the best decision. And I ended up moving home. And that experience, it was humbling being back home and knowing that, hey, I'm all right. Like, I made it. Like, Vegas is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you get caught up in some stuff. Some people do. And it was about knowing that I'm going to figure it out and things are going to be all right. And those low points in your life that you don't give up. You keep going and I'm going to conquer this.
Yeah.
So I wrote a song about figuring it out. Like, you'll figure it out. You're going to figure it out as you go. Things that you've been doing stuff, you've been stuck in this little, rut, and it's going to be all right. And that's what I wrote about for myself. When I came back, I was a mess. I was,
You lived in Vegas.
I didn't have much money.
It's like that Katy Perry song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually moved, whatever. I moved around a little bit trying to figure it out. And that's why I was trying to figure things out. And I was like, figure this all out is a song. And so I wrote about, figuring it all out. And, yeah.
So figure this all out. And then what's the second one in the...
I'm going to hire Carson.
Yeah, Carson.
What are the
he's
next
pretty good.
two?
He's good at looping me back in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play a couple songs for you. We're gonna play that song, and there's a song I wrote for my cousin. My title. I have a CD that the title of the album is "The Footsteps Coming," and I wrote a song called "The Footsteps Coming," and it's basically about my cousin who was a good person and being around. She was awesome, and people can relate. Like, there's people that you miss that were around and just brighten the day that were, like, in your life, no matter what they did.
Yep.
And yeah, they're not there now, but the idea of the song is, you know what, you're watching, you're up there looking down, and I'm gonna make the best of what's down here in the meantime, even though you're not here. Like, whoever it is that's important to your life, and eventually that you're gonna meet up, however that works. It's the footsteps are coming, meaning we're coming. Like, we're all eventually getting to that point.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then you're gonna play a new song for us too?
Yeah, I'm gonna play a new song too. It's a song I recently wrote. It's funny. I usually go to this open mic. There's a lot of open mics in the South Shore.
Oh yeah.
And some of my buddies. There's a couple of guys from Six Box Whiskey.
Yep.
Chris Ballerini and Tyler Davis. They are great with their South Shore open mic. It rotates different locations every week, and they're on top of it. You can go up there, do a solo act if you like. Or you could go up and ask, they have a full backing.
Yeah, they have like a full drum set. And yeah.
Tyler can play drums, and Chris can play bass or electric. And then also there's other people that show up that fill in. Like, they don't have to play. There's other drummers.
Right.
There's it's a good time. And
I'm always there with the peanut butter, with the Jiffy jar.
No
one lets me play, though.
In the corner, yeah.
I just sit in the corner by myself. And
yeah. So there's there's a guy from Six Box, a drummer. Tyler. I don't know if you met Tyler.
No.
But yeah, we're friends, and he had a little Facebook post about his girlfriend. Guys getting love, and he said she's cooler than me. Yeah. And he posted some pictures of her and stuff, and I came across the post, and I was like, "That's a song. She's cooler than me," and I just put myself in the zone. Just whether it was me and imagining me with a girl, or imagining him with his girlfriend and his perspective of how cool this girl is. Yeah. And just kind of wrote this song about it's in my scenario it's the girl, but sometimes it's the guy, for the girl, but to someone that's cooler, that brings in that vibe of having a good time. You can go out and they you can go anywhere by yourselves, just the two of you.
Yeah.
And there's, they're cool.
Well, that's the trick to find there. Yeah.
And they're always making you look like an idiot. They're cooler than you.
But
and then you're like, wow, she's the cool one.
You're like, wait, maybe she's not the cool one.
Sorry, she's the cool one.
But then she's still with you, so that's what counts.
That's a good thing.
So that's a new one that we'll probably record soon. I have my album actually. I did like a little thing where I produced the album myself and gave away some copies.
Yep.
But now on Memorial Day weekend, on that Friday, it will be available. My album, The Footsteps Coming, is going to be available on all platforms.
Oh, nice.
Amazon, Spotify, like iTunes, all that stuff.
Gave away copies.
Yeah.
You've met Rob Lozier, right?
I've given him one. I gave you one.
You gave me one.
Yeah.
But Rob Lozier, his first CD showed up at I don't know if he had it sent to his parents' house or he was at his parents' house when he opened the box. And his dad grabbed a CD, and Rob tried to charge him for it.
I just saw Rob last night.
Yeah,
$10.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
So
if people want to check out that CD, buy it, whatever, where can they go? Where can they find it?
It's coming out. Well, I have my webpage, www.adammatthewdavis.com, which I stream currently all my songs that are on the album. There's more to come. I got a bunch of songs. It's just they'll come later, but for now, this album, you can listen to it on my website, but it's also going to be streamable on next Friday on the 24th.
On
Memorial Day
Spotify
weekend,
and all those places.
all the platforms. It's going to be available. You can buy it or download it, whatever. However, iTunes and all it works, like $10 or whatever.
Yep.
The album, 99 cents, whatever.
Nice.
But in the meantime, you can go to my website. And I believe you can still download for free. So if you hear this,
this will probably go. No, this will go up Monday. Oh yeah, so this will.
Okay.
When this goes up, you have a week, man.
Yeah, so
get
up
out
to
there
the
and download it.
Small window.
Yeah.
This is up to the 24th. Visit my website, and it has our songs. Carson was a part of every song, and other people. I brought in other South Shore musicians, and some family.
The dates you play out also on your website?
I'm not playing out
dates
at the moment.
All right. But when you are, they'll be on your website?
When I am, yeah.
Okay.
Right now, like, I don't know, the 3-hour bar scene, taking requests, playing what people want to hear. I'm trying to stay in my creative zone.
Right.
I want to write. And, actually, I do play out at nursing homes occasionally, but that's different. That's like an hour versus 3 hours. And I like open mics.
But
play a couple songs,
as far as covers, you only play Katy Perry songs.
Yeah, only
right?
Katy Perry.
You just cover Katy Perry songs. Those are the only ones that you'll cover.
Which song specifically?
The Vegas one.
I was going to say Wrecking Ball, but that's not her, right?
That's Miley Cyrus.
All right.
Yeah. Only Miley Cyrus songs. So.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus and Katy Perry, the only covers that you'll do.
I know what I'm going to request next time I see him at an open mic.
Yeah. My cover list is fairly small, but yeah.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and I think we're going to jump into the music, and hopefully our listeners will check out your stuff before. Hopefully they'll check it out after they can pay for it, and they'll pay for it. I mean, that's
that'll be
cool. You're welcome
that's
to visit my website and stream it for free and download it, I believe, for free. It's just AdamMatthewDavis.com.
They pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, I've been giving the thing out.
Support the arts, man.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and you want his music, throw him $10, man.
I'm down. Like I've been doing.
He's gonna buy Charlie some more dog snacks.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's
expensive biscuits.
Yeah. So, thanks again, and we'll hop into the music now.
Yeah, it was great.
Cool. Thank you.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. I've been away for way too long, trying to find where I belong. And I've been waiting for a day that I could finally break away. sitting on the back porch wondering if I would ever come around. I'm looking out the front door to see you is driving by my house. I'm tripping over my feet, and if I've been enjoying it, I still don't know what to believe, but I know somehow I figure this all out. Figure this all out. I've been staring at the phone, waiting for someone to call. And I've been standing in the rain, telling myself it'll be okay, okay, okay. Away from this, away from this. I'm sitting on the back porch wondering if I will ever come around. I'm looking out the front door, see you is driving by my house. I'm tripping over my feet, and if I've been enjoying it, I still don't know what to believe, but I know somehow I figure this all out. Figure this all out. Yeah, I figure this all out. I'm sitting on the back porch wondering if I will ever come around. I'm looking out the front door, see you is driving by my house. I'm tripping over my feet, and if I've been enjoying it, I still don't know what to believe, but I know somehow I figure this all out. Yeah, I figure this all out. Figure this all out. Yeah, I figure this all out. Thought of you today, and it made me smile. That's not something I do enough. I've seen better days when I thought of you. It made me appreciate the good ones that I've had. Whenever you're looking down, when the stars above in our space, maybe you'll hear the sound of the footsteps coming. Whenever you were around, you made the world a better place. The clock's still ticking down, soon we'll all be joining in. Thought of you today, and it made me laugh. That's just something you make me do. You need to live in the past, innocence all we have. Whenever you're looking down from the stars above in our space, maybe you'll hear the sound of footsteps coming. Whenever you were around, you made the world a better place. Clock's still ticking down, and soon we'll all be joining in. Whenever you're looking down, the stars above in our space, maybe you'll hear the sound of all the footsteps coming. Whenever you were around, you made the world a better place. Clock's still ticking down, so we'll all be joining in. She's cooler than me. I always feel old. She's my light when it is dark, and my warm when it gets cold. She's hotter than hell, too close and I'm in. Yeah, it don't take much. Give me feelings I've never felt. When the spring comes and the flowers bloom, all I can do is think about you. In the summertime by the ocean breeze, tangled up with you, girl's all I need. When October comes and the leaves fall, reminds me that we got it all. In a wintertime by a fireplace, cuddled up and dreaming of the warm days. She's cooler than me, so I've been told. She's a better half, which my friends keep asking for. So brighten up in a day when she walks your way. It's good time vibes and a smile that says let's play. When the spring comes and the flowers bloom, all I can do is think about you. In the summertime by the ocean breeze, tangled up with you, girl's all I need. When October comes and the leaves fall, reminds me that we got it all. In a wintertime by a fireplace, cuddled up and dreaming of the warmer days. When the spring comes and the flowers bloom, all I can do is think about you. In the summertime by the ocean breeze, tangled up with you, girl's all I need. When October comes and the leaves fall, reminds me that we got it all. In a wintertime by a fireplace, cuddled up and dreaming of the warmer days. Oh, 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 she's cooler than me.
Okay, thanks for checking out the podcast. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts on the Inebri-art Podcast Network. There's the Bar Talk, There's Old Colony Cast. There's, of course, the Inebri-art podcast. And our latest, Retro Redoctopus, a kind of nerd genre podcast that you can check out now, all available on our website at inebri-art.com. And pretty much available everywhere that podcasts are available, on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all those things. And if you don't see it where you're looking, let us know. We'll try to get onto that as well. And you can also email us at inebri-art@yahoo.com with your questions, complaints, and suggestions. And also, if you could take the time to rate and review us on iTunes, that would be phenomenal. That helps us get more exposure and bring more of these great podcasts to your ears. And thanks again for listening.